Hi, Missy. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
100%. I'm so excited to learn more about your story and showcase your story and your transformation in the UGC Academy a little bit more. Walk us through a quick introduction of yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? And how long have you been a UGC creator for?
So I'm Missy. I am 29 and I live in Maryland. And I've been a UGC creator now for a little over a year.
Mm,
Uh, Most honestly, it was very kind of slow
Slow.
for the most part. When I first started in UGC, really, I feel like my momentum started, like towards the later half of this year, like August, September, those months. And yeah, I honestly, it's been a great last year.
Yeah, for sure. What made you kind of choose UGC over other like business models online?
Yeah, so I did try other business models online, and spent a lot of money, went into a lot of debt doing that.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Gosh.
I started first in digital marketing. So a lot of people probably heard of like the infamous $7 course that's not really $7. They were on the news. It was Legendary Marketer, the first people that I went with. So anyways, but it taught me a lot about content creation. It just about the process. It took me so long. I remember the very first time I ever made a video. I mean, it would literally take me all day to create one
Wow.
video. And so it's been a journey. But, anyways, I switched into UGC last year after helping a friend do TikTok lives. And I really liked getting free products, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of started it. And then I started working more with AI companies, and now that's even more fun.
Yeah.
But I really like UGC because it's honest. You're talking about a product that you like, that you love, instead of trying to sell somebody on something they don't want or need. So yeah, that's what I love about UGC.
And now you're doing this full time, right? How's that been?
Basically, yes. Yep. I'm still working on the side with my other job, but this
Okay.
is basically consumed. I'm mostly doing all UGC now, which is great because when I first started, it was like only at like 5 in the morning when I had time to do it. So
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like you bought back some of your time.
yes, definitely. And some of my lower paying collabs ended. And they were lower paying monthly retainers with a lot of content that needed to be pushed out. So that freed up a lot of my time as well.
Mm,
Uh, and I think honestly, really, we all have the same amount of time in a day,
yeah.
and it's just how you manage it. And so that's something I've really been trying to work on. And with the academy, you've definitely helped a lot. You are really good with time management.
Huh.
I am not, or I wasn't. I'm trying.
We'll definitely jump into that, like the time management, what it takes to actually run a UGC business, the transformation you're in. But just to kind of backtrack, you went on TikTok lives with your friends or your friend,
Yes.
and you decided to start UGC because it kind of integrated. What were your
Yes.
first like UGC attempts like for those people listening that are brand new to UGC?
Yeah. Yeah. So my first attempts were pretty awful looking back at them,
Really?
but they were, it was, I remember I was so focused on, so basically what I did in the beginning was I followed a bunch of different creators
Yeah.
and got inspiration from them. And so I really at first was trying to crack down the editing, but I think I went a little overboard, because I think the whole point of UGC is that it's realistic. You're getting a product from somebody who actually uses it.
Yeah.
And so I think that was like one of the transitions for me, realizing that it doesn't need to be perfect. So I apologize. I went on a rant there.
No, you're good. It sounds like, I mean, for a lot of creators, their first attempts are not good, right? And you just admitted, hey, Gloria, my first attempts were not good. I'm gonna be real with you, mine weren't either. But that's kind of a part of the journey, you know? What would
Right,
you tell that?
exactly.
What would you tell that creator that's like scared to even pick up their phone and try creating UGC, you know?
I would say do it. You honestly, practice makes perfect. And you will never get better at it if you never do it.
Yeah.
And really, it's just a matter of one thing I will say, though, I was very stubborn because it took me forever to learn CapCut on the mobile.
Yeah.
And then I was told that it's much easier to use it on the desktop. But I was like, I already learned it on the mobile. So I didn't want to learn it again on the desktop. But I have to say, CapCut desktop is so like, it's just so much easier to edit on there than it is on your phone.
Sure.
And it saves you so much time. So that would be my number one recommendation. Don't edit on your phone.
Yeah, it depends on the phone and depends on the person, really.
Yes.
And yeah, that's cool that you found that little gem. And even like with like your strategy back then, like how were you even like approaching brands for viewers that are like new to this?
Yeah. So I had a little bit of like I had like a little guide that I was following from one of the courses that I actually purchased back when I did digital marketing, and it was like a little tiny section in a course that I'd already purchased. So I followed that guide, and basically I would just when I first started, I also would purchase like pitching templates. And shocker, no one responded to me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I first started. I also started with purchasing the brand lists, which is so silly because it's, so many other people are buying that same 500 list of brands. And I was really focusing on the beauty brands because it really, honestly, when I first started UGC, I didn't even realize that like you could do videos on tech and whatnot. I really thought it was kind of more influencer type stuff.
Yeah, for sure. How long did you realize it wasn't like as easy as you thought, as those like TikTok influencers made it seem?
Honestly, once I started editing, it's honestly, I think that's a really good point because a lot of people say, "Oh, it's really easy." It's easy money, and it's a job. I mean, it's work. You put work into your content. You put work into the editing. I apologize. I keep going off on tangents, Gloria.
No, you're good.
Repeat the question.
But yeah, and I mean, when you first started UGC, like you said, it wasn't as easy, right, as you thought. And when you first start a business online, there are roadblocks. And there are tough times that we go through. So what kept you going, Missy, through those tough months,
I think honestly, because I knew it was possible. I remember you see on your newsfeed all these other UGC creators that are seeing a lot of success. And I think what I really liked too is what it was encouraging was it was people of all different shapes, sizes, everyone. It's not that that typical influencer look. So that was really inspiring to see other people seeing success. And I just knew that it was what I was doing. I hadn't learned how to do it successfully yet, but I knew it was possible. So I wanted to keep going.
For sure. And then how long were you in that period where you weren't even landing collabs that much? You started, but maybe you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or maybe you're struggling even. Like what finally made you realize you needed to change your approach to UGC?
So I would say, so I didn't really have too much of an issue of landing the collabs in a way, just because I would take anything that came my way.
Yeah.
Especially with Upwork. I think Upwork is it's a good platform for people to start with when you don't have any experience at all, because you get paid, even though it's a little bit for most of the jobs, but you're building your portfolio. But I knew I needed help when I was basically working from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep, and not really a productive work most of the time, but it was just, I knew I needed help because it was a lot to manage. With I started having clients that were retainers with multiple videos, like 30, 60 videos. And so I knew I needed a better way to pitch to get higher paying collabs, and collabs where I'm not putting out as much content for that dollar price, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so that's really kind of around the same time where I found you guys, and yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Even looking back, what would have happened if you hadn't even plugged into any of the pitching systems?
So honestly, if I didn't, I would say, so the pitching systems, like I have been having that run in the background, and that has been, I've been getting positive responses.
Yeah.
But I would say something that really has helped me, and I don't think I would be here where I'm at today,
Yeah.
is the community aspect, and because like hearing from the other coaches, a lot of the collabs that I have now is because of because of finding this group and talking to the coaches, and Brian, side shift, I've gotten quite a few from there. So
Yeah, for sure. And I guess how did you kind of find out about me, and like, do you call any specific pieces of content that you read from mine where you thought, okay, that makes sense. That's a new perspective that I should try out around my business?
definitely, you were the only one that ever talked about systemizing the processes in UGC. And when you hear it like that, because I think the biggest thing for me was, if I ever saw success from a video, say, or I was doing well, but I didn't know how to replicate it.
Mm-hmm.
And so hearing you talk about, just, I'm trying to think of my words. Sorry.
No,
Just
you're
hearing
good.
you talk about how to go about doing UGC, how to organize your folders, and it was just very professional. It was more elevated. It was different from what I had seen before, other than just create the content and there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that makes sense. So how did you start applying this like new way of thinking then?
Yeah. So I'm just trying to gather my thoughts.
No, you're
So honestly, I think the biggest thing is just like taking it one step at a time. The first thing I did was I built out like my LEM list.
Yeah.
And I have it for 3 different niches. My pitching template, where it's like generalized for that specific niche, for like skincare, tech, whatever. And so that's kind of how, once I first was a part of the academy, every little advice that you gave, I just kind of took it day by day and implemented it.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Sometimes going day by day, right? And
Yes.
step by step can be very beneficial, opposed to just trying to take action on everything at, one time.
Right.
And
Exactly.
yeah, for sure. So, I mean, even with like what would you say to brand owners who are watching this video right now? Like, how would you describe your services and your specialty now over this, time
Yeah.
in your niche, and like why brands should choose you, Missy?
Yeah. Honestly, I would say my confidence in my work, in the way that I think about content creation, has completely changed after being a part of the academy. I truly want my content to perform for the brand.
Yeah.
And so I really, like, for example, I just worked with this one brand and we did 5 meta ads for them, and she absolutely loved them and did not need any revisions. And it was honestly one of the greatest feelings, because she was like, you got exactly the point of what we were trying to get across.
Yeah.
And the aesthetic and whatnot. And so I'm really eager to see their ads for Black Friday. So I'm eager to see how they perform.
For sure. And even what are some like big results, like your best results you've generated for brands so far?
Yeah. So most recently with Cheater Buster, the one brand that I've been working for, I generated since I started at the end of September, I've generated over 60 million organic views on TikTok. So and Instagram is slowly creeping up there, but so that was really exciting just because I feel like I'm finally finding my place. And so I think who I am now as a creator versus, a couple months ago, is totally different. I love I just love how organized you are in how you present your work to brands. And that's something I've really tried to do with my clients as well, in my non-organic, retainer accounts.
For sure. And then a lot has changed. Like, how are you positioning yourself now as a creator? I remember back then you were competing in maybe more saturated niches like the skincare, hair care, and now you're working with, maybe apps and maybe software, right? So how do you separate yourself now, and what untapped opportunities are you taking advantage of?
Yeah. So honestly, I've really been, now that like I especially have content to prove that, hey, I have gone viral with this brand, I would be eager to know, and that's not something that I am aware of, but I would love to know how many app downloads have been generated from that account, because that would be something cool to know, I think. But especially going forward and pitching brands in the tech, the AI app space, I think that would be something, a good metric to be able to show them. Yeah,
100%. Getting those results and getting those metrics, they could help you land more collabs. And that brings us to like negotiation. Like over time, like how has it helped to negotiate with brand owners? I feel like most UGC creators can't even negotiate, and they're scared of speaking with brands,
Yeah. Yeah. So there was actually a week or so ago, the content that a brand had actually wanted me to create was relatively simple. But they were wanting to pay me way under what I would feel comfortable doing a video for. And I was very honest with them, and, I explained to them, why I explained to them the rate that I would feel comfortable with, and they met me in the middle, which was really nice, because honestly, before a couple months ago, I would have just said, I'll take it. It is what it is, and that's just money sitting on the table.
Yeah, for sure. And were you going viral before the UGC Academy? Were you going super viral?
Not super. No, I had a little bit of success with my one account. But not to the extent of with posted the Academy. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you approach like your content differently then, so you can go viral? Like, what did you learn?
So I honestly, now I have the analytics to look at. And I do feel like, though, for each account, it is a little bit it's a little bit different just because of the different niches. They're active at different times. You know what I mean? And so, but it's teaching me that, so actually I'm very interested to see, because of course I had to stay within, Cloud9's like, brand image, but I'm applying the skit format that, similar skit formats from Cheater Buster and so I'm excited to see how like the controversial content will grab I found that's really what grabs the user's attention,
for sure.
Or the viewer's attention. And so kind of just going at that angle. That's what I've been trying to apply to my other brands to see how I can help get that content to go viral.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it starts with, you trying it, you iterating, you putting together,
Yes.
pieces to your video that you haven't before that are supposed to go viral, like learning the viral frameworks and then going viral once and then understanding it and then applying it to multiple other clients. That's
Yes.
how you make a difference. That's how you make an impact. That's how you make a lot of money, from your
Right.
content is going viral in the right way from the frameworks and everything. Did Brian's call, did Sasha's call, did anyone's call, or what material helped you understand how to go viral and how to really take back control in that area?
So honestly, I really like how you guys have the Cloud9 brief laid out
Yeah.
with the and like how you break down the like the process of cracking the virality. It was like phase one, phase two. I'm not sure the exact words that were in there, but I think really when I was reading it, I was like, wow, it's really systemized, and you look at one and so you break it apart and it just makes it a lot easier to actually see why something went viral, instead of just looking at the, I'm sorry, Gloria.
It is very late for you, so I do not.
Yes.
It is almost 12 a.m. Take your time.
Yeah, because before I feel like when I would look at metrics, I would, I apologize.
No worries.
It's sometimes overwhelming because when you're first looking at it, you don't know, okay, well, what actually did make this go viral, right?
Yeah.
But when you have a framework to follow, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure. And then frameworks are a version of a system. A system
Right.
is something that you just use repeatedly, a process you use repeatedly, and it's something that you use in your videos. So I guess like considering the systems, the outbound systems, the inbound systems, the content systems, the retaining systems, what systems do you currently use in your business right now?
Yeah. So I'm utilizing the pitching system. I have Lenlist, whatnot. And then I also I have a calendar now. It's a work in progress. But I'm really trying to work on my time management. So we're putting everything that we have to do in our calendar and really trying to just kind of hone in on that. But and then I also now have, and I guess, is that like an accounting type system? I have my all my the collabs that I'm doing. It's all in an organized spreadsheet now.
Yay!
Yep. So that way I can actually keep track of money.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess like let's talk about your milestones now. Like you've gone viral for many clients. You started the UGC Academy not making that much money from UGC. So what did that transformation look like in, your income with UGC over the past bit here being in the UGC Academy?
Yeah. So I know when I first started, I think I was like barely at like 3,000 a month when I joined the academy. And now the last month I made like 7,000.
Wow.
And this month I'm right on par for that to about. So it's definitely, yeah, honestly, there no complaints. I'm very thankful because I truly don't believe I would be here today had I not found the academy.
100%. Very, very, very inspiring story. And, we take pride in stories like that where you completely change your life. A 3 to 7K, income jump is not, it's not a small jump. That's for sure. That's a big jump. And the fact that you're jumping like that from 1 month to the next, soon you're going to be at 10, 15K months to 20K months, 30K months, right? From how viral you're going and the impact you're making for clients, right? And the systems that you're putting in and the time management, everything, it all compounds into the income you're making, And
Yeah.
it's a beautiful transformation you went through. I guess what was the biggest payment you got from a single client before, in a month?
So I would say like a single time payment
Yeah, like
or,
maybe like a like an invoice that you received.
oh, okay. Yeah, I would say the biggest is probably so far the $2,000 bonus that I've gotten. I
Wow.
just got it actually today for
Oh my
my video that
gosh.
went viral. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. $2,000 bonus.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh. What
Yeah.
would you tell like your old self right now?
Uh Honestly, keep trucking along. You know, it's sometimes I remember it was really hard at times because you think sometimes like, oh my gosh, am I actually going to make it?
Yeah.
But you know, 1,000% you will not make it if you give up.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's something that I always try to like keep in the back of my mind. But honestly, yeah, there's sometimes where I just like want to pinch myself because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's actually happening. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It feels surreal, you know, it feels
Yes.
your
Yeah.
first like milestone like that feels so good.
Yes, yes. I'm like, oh, I let's bring on more. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Send me more. Give me more. Give me more.
Yep, yep.
How has Missy, how that's a pretty big jump, like we said. So how has UGC changed your like life personally?
Yeah, honestly, am I'm so much happier because I actually love what I'm doing. I think UGC is so much fun because it's so versatile. The types of content that you can create is honestly endless.
Mhm.
And it's really just, I mean, literally like you're like acting some of the
Yeah.
times, you know what I mean? And so like sometimes I'm like, oh, I actually like depending on what brand you work with and what the job is, it's like, oh, I'm, you know, like a coder or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So you kind of get to be like someone that maybe you didn't get to be. I don't know. I think I love being able to be creative and actually make decent money off of it.
Yeah, for sure. And then before I met you to now, like what's different about your day-to-day life and even your mindset compared to when you were struggling?
Yeah, I would definitely say the mindset's been the biggest shift. And I don't feel like alone, you know? I before it was like anytime I would see someone on Instagram, like a UGC influencer type that is trying to sell a course,
Mhm.
I would like get sucked into it anytime I would see it. And now I'm like, I don't need that. I scroll right past it. I don't even get sucked in. I really like having and I haven't the last couple weeks because it's just been super hectic, but
Yeah.
I really like having the calls. Because honestly, every time that I've been on a live call, I've gotten something, I've learned something, I've gotten something out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally every single time I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I was there.
Yeah, for sure. Girl, I need to see you on my mindset call on Friday.
Yes, yes. I know normally they're on, yeah, but on Friday, sometimes it's so hard but yes, I'm going to
Oh
make
yeah.
one.
Friday is a hard day, definitely. But how is like, and Missy, before we kind of end it off here, appreciate your time so much. And I'm sure your story has inspired many of the viewers watching this video. Like, how important was like having mentorship in this transformation for you?
Very important. Because I think a lot of times when you're starting something new, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And it's very overwhelming because there's so much information online. And so having a mentor, having somebody that's actually been successful and who knows what they're talking about, it makes all the difference.
Mm. Hmm. And yeah, how do you feel about like the investment that you made in your education for the UGC Academy and for the mentorship?
Yeah, no, honestly, it's definitely worth the investment because of these connections. And not only that, I love, honestly, anytime I see a message about, yeah, and honestly, anytime the upcoming brand collaborations, like that is, you know, income for the future, but
Mhm.
there's so much more that you get out of the academy. And but that's another added benefit as well. You are connected and you are, you know, you guys, yeah, it's I I really love being a part of the academy.
We love having you here. Um, Yeah, you're very active and you're very, you're taking advantage of everything. And that's all we need from creators to take that step, right? Take advantage of things, be active, right? And just learn, take steps, learn, 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 and boom, you're going to find yourself, succeeding. It's the compound effect.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
What was your biggest doubt before making the commitment into yourself? And what would you say to others who might be dealing with the same struggle?
Um, I think it's a tricky question because honestly, I feel like after being a part of the UGC world and seeing your posts and just seeing the content, I knew that it was worth honestly, like I know it sounds crazy probably, but like me and Chris were a little concerned. We were like, oh, like thinking maybe like 10,000 or something because of the
Really?
amount of value you guys provide. And so honestly, I definitely could not have afforded that. But to me, what you guys, there was really what you guys offer was exactly what I needed. So it was honestly kind of like a no brainer.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for that. So
Yeah, of course.
thank you so much for this wonderful interview podcast. And I know you've inspired many of the viewers watching this right now. Last question, where can others find you on social media?
Yes. So it's UGC dot Missy for Instagram. And then on TikTok, it's UGCW Missy. I should probably have it the same, but
Wonderful.